In our lifespan, we'll all face problems that may be man-made or just part of nature's plan. And the survivors of these life trials show what they are made of when the going gets tough. One good example is Nelson Mandela, who after years in jail still standing tall. Instead of being bitter or being a quitter, he's still sounding his clarion call for equal rights and justice for one and all. Though it has cost him many tears, he still shows that he cares. Even now in his twilight years, in spite of years spent in prison, he's not apartheid's victim, for he turned his scars into stars. He's still influencing millions through books and television, for he turned his scars into stars. That's why when life problems try to suppress me, I just throw them behind in the name of the Almighty. And that give me the strength to pick myself up and move on. For like Mandela, I want to be an inspiration. Don't care what man has done to me, just been here I claim victory. Cause I turn my scars into stars. I say I turn my scars into stars.
Share the love, share the love.
During times of strife, I felt I could not win. The many obstacles made me just want to give in. I withstood the pressure that life had to offer. Though I sometimes suffered, I didn't surrender. Negative outcomes helped to shape my character, without turning me sour like vinegar. Societal vices were not my choices. That's why my darkness turned to light. But believe me, sisters, it was not an easy fight. So when they say a status quo, my positive actions will be the cork to plug them out. Though I've lost my mother and daughter, I still sing praise to Jah, for I turn my scars into stars. And to those who still are wonder why grief did drag me under, I turn my scars into stars. For when life tragedies try their best to overwhelm me, I just throw them behind in the name of the Almighty. The strength to pick myself up and move on. For to somebody I can be an inspiration. I don't shack up with misery, for I know it loves company. Instead I turn my scars into stars. I turn my scars into stars.
Share the love, share the love.
You young people who find life is a struggle, and every time you stumble you get deeper into trouble. So you blame the system for what you're experiencing, making you easy prey when temptations come your way. You think you're bad lucky? Well, rewind history and pause on the period of slavery. You'll see our ancestry lived in real poverty, but songs of hope were always on their lips, often backed up by the sing of the master's whips. Fast forward to your problems now, and like your ancestors, use productive ways to overcome somehow. When the peer pressure of today turning you the wrong way, you have to turn your scars into stars. Erase gang culture from your head and do like me instead, and turn your scars into stars. For when life problems try their best to control me, I just throw them behind in the name of the Almighty. That gives me the strength to pick myself up and move on. So to your generation, I'll be an inspiration. I may not have much money and the bills piling up monthly, still I turn my scars into stars. So young people, turn your scars into stars.
To the Lord, to the Lord. Sounds of Queen singing Jackie. I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul's, St. Kitts. Yes, I am still here in St. Kitts, the Republic of St. Paul's. Lovely Wednesday afternoon here in Sweet Sugar City, St. Kitts. And I'm DJ Mauricio. Will be coming to you with some very interesting conversation this evening. Basically, we'll be continuing from our podcast last Wednesday and picking it up going into the late evening, 6 to 8 p.m. this evening. But for those of you who might be scrolling the web and running to us and want to know what this podcast is all about, let's take a quick listen to this quick ad.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauricio's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, it is right. That's each and every Wednesday evening. You can catch up on the DJ Mauricio podcast right here at the DJ Mauricio Experience from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now let's take a quick run across there to Fountain Nevis to what my boy Carbo have to tell us this evening.
Cabos, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Cabos Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Cabos Punji and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabos and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Cabos, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over. You got the food all over.
Yes, Brother Carbo has the food all over the island of Nevis there. And when you check Brother Carbo, just let him know DJ Mauricio sent you. Remember, Carbo also does catering for any occasion, whether it's your wedding, your funeral, your graduation, whatever. Just let Carbo take care of your needs. Now let's take a quick listen to Sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and Sundays. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food. Go and pick up your food. Girl, the food will be finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
Yes, you heard it right. Sister Carmen is there at Shirlene, Monday to Saturday from 12 noon to 5 p.m. Check her out there. And on a Sunday, you can check her there at the bus stop in Boys Village, just opposite the Agora shop. Carmen is also available for your catering services. So check out Sister Carmen and let her know DJ Mauricio sent you. Now let's take a quick listen to my boy, Brother Daniel there of the Hydro Farm. They may be giving some business advice.
Welcome to Strategies for Business Success, right here on 2020visionradio.com and on 102.1 FM with business development advocate Daniel Arthurton. Each week, Danny will build on a foundation to ensure your success in business. Being in business can be daunting, and Strategies for Business Success can help you avoid the pitfalls. Join Danny right here on 2020visionradio.com, on 102.1 FM, and on your other social media platforms every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. That's right, Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. The time and place for your business dreams to come true.
Yes, that's Brother Danny over there in Queen City, Nevis. Every Tuesday, check him out there in 2020 Vision. Now let's take a quick listen to what my boy, Brother Malvern Gums of the Spectrum Band in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands have to say.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Mauricio, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Mauricio. Keep it locked.
Right there. So my good people, this evening, let me try and drop in my boy, Brother G.E. Dwyer Astafan commentary early o'clock, because from there we'll be bowling some very simple pace this evening. We got to pick up the pace from last week. So let's take a quick listen to Brother G.A. Dwyer Astafan. And the temperature is rising here in St. Kitts Nevis, and so the temperature will be rising on this podcast this evening. So, my good people, as usual, what I have here is my island purified water. This is what keeps me hydrated throughout the evening and keep me going here in this podcast. Without my island purified water, I definitely won't make it through the evening. So, my good people, let's take a quick listen to Brother J. Dwyer Astafan, and I want to thank the good water people there. Main Street, Newton Ground, St. Kitts, Brother Powell and his team for a good job and continue to do your community service here in our beloved Federation.
Greetings. I refer to the recent New York Times article stating that the U.S. government is considering issuing sweeping travel restrictions on the citizens of 41 countries. The basis for this, we are told, is U.S. security. The 41 countries are divided into 3 groups. The first group, comprising 10 countries, would face a full visa suspension. The next group, comprising 5 countries, would face partial suspensions. And the third group, comprising 26 countries, would be subject to a partial suspension against getting visas to enter the United States, and I quote, if their respective governments do not make efforts to address deficiencies within 61 days. End of quote. The problem with this is that the article does not indicate what those deficiencies are. There are 4 OECS countries named in the third group, namely Antigua Barbuda, Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Kitts Nevis. Curiously, Grenada is not included. Presently, there is no evidence, as far as I'm aware, that any of the governments of the Caribbean countries mentioned have been formally notified of this by the US government. I'm told that governments in the region are inquiring formally. Now, a couple of weeks ago, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio was calling for our countries and others to stop paying the Cuban government for services provided to us by Cuban medical and other professionals. I think we pay both the Cuban government and the doctors and other professionals. Mr. Rubio's claim apparently is that we are exploiting Cuban labor and paying money to a sanctioned government. We also heard of his threat to deny US visas to our leaders if they fail to comply. Now suppose our leaders defy this threat. Although I'm hearing that Antigua and Barbuda has decided to pay all of the money to the doctors and none to the Cuban government. And we'll see how that works out. But suppose the leaders who do not comply get their US visas cancelled. Then they would not be able to attend World Bank and IMF meetings in Washington, or UN meetings in New York, or other important institutional meetings in the United States. I know it's early days yet, and while speculation doesn't help, but if the US goes through with this, how wild would it be to ask if what we are experiencing now might be the start of a process whereby eventually the United Nations moves to another country, which the present US administration might prefer, and likewise for the IMF and the World Bank. Indeed, if matters reach that extreme, might we in time see a different world order, with the US more isolated and less influential? I don't think that's what the US wants. Might we be seeing sometime from now new and different institutions replacing the World Bank and the IMF and even the UN? We know BRICS is alive and well. It's the biggest single economic market on the planet with the biggest population base. Again, might the US, by this action, if there's any truth in it, be pushing these Caribbean countries further and further away, and worse so at a time when the US is already concerned about China's presence in our region? And if our people cannot get US visas, then passenger loads on flights between our islands and the US could fall, and fall to the point where our governments would now have to pay the airlines for shortfalls in passenger loads in an effort to keep the airlines coming. This could drive up the cost of airfares, which in turn could drive down visitor arrivals, which would spell more heartache and pocket ache for our people and our economies. I'm not an economist, but this is how it looks to me. And if these countries get into further difficulty, we won't be able to rule out economic, social, and political instability, which is eminently avoidable, except that our good friends in the North are not only not helping, but are the ones whose decisions and actions might be forcing us there and straight into the arms of the very people who our northern friends don't want in the neighborhood. And God knows what that can lead to, because you know the African proverb which says that when elephants fight, the grass suffers. But God forbid, if unwise policies and actions lead to escalating tensions and instability in our region, then not only will the grass suffer, but so also will the elephants and the rest of us. So I humbly and respectfully suggest that what is needed is not a US policy on the Caribbean, which is woven in muscular ultimatums and threats of punishment, but instead a policy of tact, tolerance, common sense, and inclusion. This would be good for all of us in the hemisphere and in the world. Because in this day and age, a flashpoint anywhere on the planet can easily go disastrously global. The US trades with China and Russia, and its president has met twice with the leader of North Korea. So what is so uniquely big and bad about Cuba? Why is Cuba under an embargo and has been for over 60 years? Meanwhile, our PM and other PMs in the region have commented on the Rubio matter. And all of them in their own way have stated clearly that we are friends of all and enemies of none. And they have stressed the vital importance of our relationships with both Cuba and the United States. But our leaders will also have to come up with a well-delivered, transparent, concerted, sensible, well-measured strategy to address the present and prospective developments in our region's geopolitics and generally. Just the statements will not be enough. We have to strategize how are we going to deal with these realities and possibilities proactively. And in our considerations, we cannot leave out Cuba. We cannot leave out the United States. We cannot leave out anybody. Look, of all of the critical benefits to us from our relationship with Cuba, let me name just two. Professional education, one, and health, the other. Poor people's children have found in Cuba the only place where they could afford the cost of becoming doctors, dentists, nurses, health technicians, engineers, and so on. And they have come back here, some directly from Cuba, others from Cuba to the United States or elsewhere for further studies, and then back, like the Prime Minister of today, to make their contributions, to improve the quality of life, to uplift themselves and their families, and to inspire us all. What's bad about that? And for the record, let us remember the person who made all of this possible, Dr. Osbert Ozzy Liebert, who is still alive, and to whom the hundreds of Cuban graduates from our country and their families and the rest of us owe a debt of gratitude. And we must also remember the first person who went to Cuba under this arrangement from our country, Dr. Earl Asim Martin, a former minister of government. Cuba, with all of its imperfections, and let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Cuba has provided this opportunity to the people of our country and the region and beyond. I know of no formula that can properly measure the good that this has done for the human and economic development of our countries. This is a good thing. Cuba has also proven to be a reliable source of medical specialists whose skills have been and continue to be made available to our country to help save lives and improve the quality of life for our people. And these specialists, as Prime Minister Drew said, are paid according to government scales, like every other person in their skills category. What's wrong with that? We have the need, but we don't have the skills. Not sufficient. This is health and life. So we get the experts we need to improve the health of the people of this country. What could be more precious than that? And we pay for those services. What could be more fair than that? Where else can we get these skills? From the States? At these costs? From Canada? From England? From the EU? No. And if these professionals are employees or otherwise bonded to the Cuban government, what is wrong if we pay the Cuban government a fair fee? What could be wrong with that? We have no desire to be part of an effort to starve the government of Cuba and cause its people even more suffering than they are enduring. And as a decent, responsible nation, we pay a fair price for services provided to us. There's no embargo between us and them. Friends of all, enemies to none. And we have no desire to engage in human trafficking. But we in these islands and others like us in the so-called third world are not the only people and countries who benefit from Cuban medical services. A number of Americans go to Cuba for medical treatment every year, and they pay for it. In Cuba, they get highly acclaimed specialized medical services at lower costs than in the United States, with shorter waiting times. And they get medications and that sort of thing far more affordably. Cuba is famous for its skills in eye surgery, and I'm a beneficiary of that. Both eyes, one by Dr. Nunez, the other by Dr. Crespo, both Cubans working in this country. And I thank them and the wonderful nursing team at the eye clinic at the JNF for this team effort, not only to improve my vision, but the vision and eye health and general health of so many hundreds of our people. This is good. Cuba is also famous for treating neurological disorders, cancer, cosmetic surgery, orthopedics, addiction treatment, and so on. In all of their difficulties, they have generated a strong health sector. The Americans who go to Cuba, are they punished by their government? They pay for it. Are they punished? You see, the difference between them and us is that they can vote in America and we can't vote. So what the American government might get away with us, it can't with them. But apart from this, some people are also saying that the ultimatum that we have received or allegedly received, which we haven't, or are about to receive, has nothing to do with the Cuban thing, with what Mr. Rubio said. They said it is about the CBI program, particularly in relation to these 4 OECS countries. And again I ask, what are the deficiencies in our CBI programs? When he got into office in 2022, August, Dr. Drew inherited a mess of bad practices and corruption in the CBI. The Galaxy Jail scandal highlighted it all. The European Union was threatening to shut us down, and we were at the point in time and circumstance when CBI revenues would go into a free fall, regardless of who was going to be in office, because of the bad leadership of Timothy Harris, following up on the bad leadership of Denzel Douglas. Both had wonderful opportunities to generate and deliver funds from the CBI to establish a powerful foundation for the development of our people. But both failed. They failed you. The present cry for homes, which could provide work for contractors and for suppliers. Present cry for business financing, particularly small business. For farmer and fisher support. For all kind of things. And the present suffering and sacrifice. All of this could have been avoided if Douglas and Harris had properly focused on the best interests of the people of this country, using the CBI power and funding that was and could have been available. So the opportunities generated by the CBI were never fully realized. The money dried up. You lost out on the benefits of billions of dollars. And on top of that, the two of them, especially Dr. Harris, put the CBI in the intensive care unit for Dr. Drew to try to revive it. And on top of that, they have this country shaking, both of them, especially Dr. Harris. They have this country shaking with fear. Every time we hear something out of the US, Ottawa, London, or Brussels, they've traumatized the people of this country. I'm amazed. And all of this is known. This is common sense. You don't have to be an astrophysicist to understand this and to see this. I'm amazed at how many of us seem to forget these hard and painful facts and are so carelessly willing to expose ourselves to the same abuse again. Dr. Drew sat down with the European Union, with the UK, with Canada, and the US, and in collaboration with those countries, he introduced measures. He led the way for the sub-region. From day one, he encouraged, and I'm not here to sing his praises, I'm just telling you the facts. From day one, he encouraged his fellow prime ministers in Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia, and Grenada to come together in a uniform approach to this whole thing. And he succeeded. And he gained the respect of the EU, of the UK, of Canada, of the United States. His action threw a lifeline to our CBI, which, as I said, was in the ICU thanks to Harris. And the Harris propaganda people need to stop acting as if you've forgotten what happened just 2 years ago. And the hundreds of millions of US dollars, the billions of EC dollars that you, the people of this country, have been deprived of to achieve your well-deserved prosperity. And now trying to get you to blame this present administration for what Harris has done to you and his team. Come on, man, you have to see past that. But all of these troubles must arouse in you the memory of how you got here and what put you here. So their mouth organs need to check themselves and stay out of this conversation. The culprits cannot be the jurors in this case. So if the US has further concerns with our CBI and that of our sister OECS CBI countries, there are easy ways to communicate those concerns. The lines of communication are open on a daily basis. The process is an integrated process. The US is already involved in the process. But as far as I'm aware, no communication of concern was raised to the level of what we're hearing with this partial suspension, which makes all of this even more mystifying and concerning and even terrifying. These are perilous times, and we need to be careful, we need to be responsible, we need to be measured and calm, or else this will get out of hand for all of us. In the region, in the hemisphere, and beyond. A word to the wild. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Brother Dwyer, thanks for touching on this topic this evening. It's a topic that need to be had. I know that the majority of individuals, and most so the current administration of St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm pretty sure they just want this matter to go away. But you're not going to just snap your finger and this issue just go away. And what is amazing is that individuals who are in the know, that have sat in the past parliament, that are sitting in the current parliament, they are well aware of the situation that we are dealing with. But for whatever reason, they are playing on the minds of our good citizens who are either supporting parties blindly or supporting government blindly. And the reality is what it is, you know. The reality is what it is. We are worried about the US government imposing restrictions or sanctions on our beloved federation. But these same people, our same citizens, our same administration that are concerned about restrictions, they themselves want to place restrictions on the DJ free speech and the DJ's commentary on a Wednesday evening, because they may not like the topics that I am touching, but I am touching the real issues. And let me play this clip from a press conference a few days ago with the State Department. And let's really see if our people are really paying attention to the happenings, or are our people walking around with our wide eyes, wide open shut, like I always say. Because some people just drink the Kool-Aid. Whether it's the blue Kool-Aid, the green Kool-Aid, the red Kool-Aid, or the orange Kool-Aid, or the yellow Kool-Aid. They're not paying attention to the information. And that is why I'm here on a Wednesday evening, to break it down without any fear of anyone being upset. And I invite everyone online, feel free to put in your contribution in the thread. I know many of you are asking for me to have a call in. This podcast have always have a call in option. The option is to let me know you want to call in. I'll give you the password. You come in, and you have to come in with your video. I don't want nobody hiding behind a computer screen, just talking without any facts and hiding their face. No, you want to come talk to me, feel free. Come on in and let's have that conversation. Now, let's take a quick listen and continue with this conversation.
Secretary Rubio believed that if Afghanistan is among the countries that are there on a list, a draft list to be banned, that legitimate SIVs who were approved by the State Department during the fall of Afghanistan and the withdrawal should be a carve-out, and that these people who help the State Department, the CIA, the DOD, can come and have refugee status. I do have a thought.
Well, first of all, there is no list. What people are looking at over these last several days is not a list that exists here that is being acted on. There is a review, as we know through the President's executive order, for us to look at the nature of what's going to help keep America safer in dealing with the issue of visas and who's allowed into the country. But what has been touted as something that is an item through the State Department, it just simply isn't the case. So the premise, I have to say, I certainly can't speak to because it's not accurate. When it comes to the nature of Afghanistan and those who've helped us, the arrangements we've made already in the past, getting as many people from that conflict here, certainly those who have assisted us and worked with us, that's been a policy and a dynamic that we've worked on from certainly even the previous administration, working to try to get that happening. So that's not something that is certainly I can talk about regarding something that doesn't exist, but certainly when that review is done, we'll have something that we can discuss.
Now, I realize that our labor administration, our labor communicating sites are out there touting something from this press conference, saying that there is no official list and whatever this list out there is fake. Now, for anyone that lives in North America, live in the outer world, should know that if you ask the police or anyone if they're investigating you, ask the FBI if they're investigating you, the answer going to be no, it's going to be a denial. Whatever was in play is because of the great good journalism of those folks out there in North America, more so New York Times. These people are real investigators. That's why I try to speak to our journalists here and reporters in St. Kitts about asking the hard question, going the extra mile to get information. Whatever was in play by the US State Department, naturally somebody get hold of it and leaked it. You don't expect now whatever was in play that they're going to come and acknowledge it or confirm it, because it was leaked. So they have to go back to the drawing board and they have to do whatever they have to do. But for our government and our ministers in parliament, both opposition and government, to be out there toting and bragging that there is no list and it's fake and whatever, people, come on. I want to believe that my good boy, dear brother Rollins, the boy Wussy, as the national advisor to the prime minister, I would hope he not falling for these things, because I know he knows how this system done out there and what these things mean. So for those of you who might have a little cloud over your memory, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Because this matter is not nothing just about Cuba. Last week I tried to make it like a narrative is about Cuba. This is bigger than Cuba, right? So let's go back, because we have, I'm not even going to touch our first premier, our first national hero. Let's start with our first prime minister when we got independence in 1983. Every one of these prime ministers in some way have done some damage to our federation. We know that the Constitution was transactional. That in itself is a mess and have the federation in a mess. St. Kitts does not exist in the Constitution. St. Christopher Nevis does. Nevis does. We already covered all of that a couple of weeks ago. So in itself, that Constitution is where we need to start. Revisit and fix that problem. Otherwise, the future of this country is going to be in tatters to come, right? Now, every one of these prime ministers have some answers to give to the federation. And for whatever reason, our people are very easily misled. They're not sticking to the conversation. So my people, let me try bring you guys back. Let's focus. Don't let Patches be correct. When he said giving a common sense test, over 90% of us will fail. Let us not give Patches that kind of credit. Let us use our common sense. I'm pretty sure many of you who is old enough will know that the first prime minister, Kennedy Simmons, some years ago, he fired, turned away, or threw out his deputy prime minister on All Fools Day. To date, we still have not got the reason for the then prime minister to dump his deputy. And you know, my boy director said deputy is essential. But the deputy was kicked out. No explanation to the country. Then the Denzel administration my partner Denzel Douglas, my village man. And by the way, let me just put it out there. Every one of these prime ministers, every one of these governments have done something positive, constructive to the country, but they also have done some damage to the country, right? Dr. Douglas took over from Kennedy Simmons, and I think he was doing well in the beginning. Somewhere along the line, he was sidetracked. Sidetracked to the point where Dr. Douglas decided, in his wisdom, there were bad actors in the Middle East and other part of the world that was banned from traveling to Canada, the US, and the UK, and wherever. But they are millionaires, billionaires, zillionaires. They had money and was willing to purchase our CBI. I'm pretty sure Prime Minister Douglas at the time couldn't have made a decision on his own to take out the place of birth field from our passport. I don't think Douglas could have done that. I want to believe that that was done in the Labour administration cabinet led by Dr. Douglas. And I would hope that this matter was discussed in Parliament because I'm not sure. The bottom line is, the place of birth field was taken out of the St. Kitts Nevis passport. So anyone applying for a passport and traveling to countries, these bad actors was able to get a St. Kitts Nevis passport, enter the US, enter Canada, enter the EU and all over the world. That became an issue. The US government reached out to the St. Kitts government about the matter, from what I was told. And the response was not received well. From my understanding, because of that issue, not only did our then Prime Minister, Dr. Douglas, lost his visa to travel to the US, but St. Kitts was hit with sanction at that point, restrictions, where our travel free, visa free to Canada and other areas was taken away. This is the realities that we are dealing with. Now, fast forward to this current administration. People like to hear Philip Martinez at MSR Media. The bottom line is, for some reason and somehow, Mr. Martinez ended up in the Federation via Nevis. According to the information, he came in via Premier Brantley. If I am wrong, I stand corrected. He came in a time where the COVID had the country in a mess, and Premier Brantley said he wanted to start a movie industry. That is what I understand. Well, I don't need to get too deep into this conversation because I had Mr. Martinez here on the 18th of December last year. We did a little chat and he broke down his whole connection, how we got into St. Kitts, what they did. And for some time, when Prime Minister Joe was speaking, the impression that I got was these 5,500 passports or units or citizen certificate, whatever they are, that was given to Galaxy in exchange to build a prison over there in the Bowie area. I understood that there was no need for that amount of passport. The money, it could have taken maybe 10,000 passports to build that prison. So the other 4,500 passports, not 10,000, sorry, 1,000 or 2,000 of those shares could have taken care of the prison project, but it was 5,500 given. And as a result, because they had so much extra money, they was able to sell these passports at a discounted rate. While, according to Mr. Martinez, he was asked by Prime Minister Joe to buy the OTI hotel. The OTI hotel came with some CBI shares from TDC. The information is there on my podcast from December 18. The arrangement that MSR had with the government is that their shares would be sold at $250,000 per share, per passport. When they found out that their project, they are putting out more cash than what Galaxy is putting out for what they're doing, but Galaxy is getting more out of the deal. That's where the problem started between them going back and forth. And if you guys check those leak WhatsApp, we're going back to leak. You all remember we just talked about leak lists in the US? Well, there were some leak WhatsApp messages going back and forth between Dwyer Astafan and the AG, the current AG. And apparently somewhere one of those WhatsApp, and I have them so I could speak about them. The AG make a comment that it was a great scam. So if it was a great scam under the former administration, and you now took office, why you continue to allow the scam? Why you didn't shut down the scam? Why you didn't deal with the scam? So we are out here fighting and defending our administration because we love Prime Minister Joe, we love our labor people, we love our labor team. We want to see the country do good. But let's deal with the realities. They know that things are wrong and they ignore it and think it's going to take care of itself. I don't know if you guys remember that there are some investors out there that got people to invest money into this country before Antigua and the Virgin Islands. You had one of them invest in cricket. His investors lost their money. He ended up in jail. Madoff, similarly, he's in jail because his investors lost money. Well, this gentleman is in the same situation. His investors invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into St. Kitts Nevis to buy the OTI. The CBI shares that they got was supposed to be able to recoup that money and get a little thing on the top. They are not able to do that because of what they experienced from the government. And the man sounded the alarm. In America, we call it a whistleblower. And instead of them address the matter, they pressure the man. So for those of you out there who did not understand what is taking place, let me break it down again. I don't think Mr. Martinez can come back on this podcast anytime soon to have a conversation. But since I have the information, let me break it down for you. And what I'm talking about is in the court documents in St. Kitts Nevis. So you can go there and get it. He filed a case in St. Kitts Nevis, a civil matter, to get some relief, to get his money. And what we get from our leaders is the propaganda that this man is trying to bribe the prime minister. They're trying to rip off the country, how much millions of dollars and whatever. But you all invite the man to invest in the country and the man expect a return for his investors. So if I did not want the man to benefit, why you all taking money? From what I understand, TDC had owed the government some money from the OTI situation. And when this sale went through of the OTI, the government, this new labor administration, had someone present at the closing where they take their money off the top before TDC get theirs. I don't know if that was reported in Parliament, but these are information that is out there. We have an AG out there that say he's going to name them and shame them. He started off good. He got quiet these days. But we have to ask the question them, my good people. Cussing the DJ, not going to change the realities, not going to change the facts. Because what I'm presenting here is the information that is there, that the people are going to be facing if we don't call out these ministers of government that representing us. I know some of them lying to us, and I know when they're lying to us. And it's very frustrating to know that this is the very same thing that I campaign against, that I am experiencing now. And all of a sudden, it's right. Government change. So what was wrong in 22, 21, 20 is correct now? I drive some blows under the former Prime Minister, my good friend Timothy Harris. He tell me we are still friends, so I'm happy I could say my friend. And I drive blows under him because I did not like the way he lied to the people during the COVID era. And the people did not get what is due. The country did not get what is due. And during that time when I was driving my shots, we had people like the Premier, who is the current leader of the opposition, who is the current Premier of Nevis, telling people ignore the noise. No study with a boy up there in New York in the attic or in the basement. They're fake news. Timothy Harris is the best Prime Minister ever. That's what the Premier was saying. My good friend Sean Richards, take him mouthpiece from me because he didn't like what I'm saying. But look what happened to them. Now that they're in the opposition benches, they could see what went wrong, but while they was there, they couldn't see. And I'm trying to tell this Prime Minister, do not make that mistake. It's the same DJ that was speaking to Timothy, that was speaking to the country about the wrongs that were taking place, is speaking to you now. And I interview you on this podcast. And I said to you, please do not go in there and make the same mistake as them. Because when I have to speak or when I have to come at you, I'm going to come harder than I went at them. Because my grandmother tell me when your own lies bite you, it bites you hard. And Mr. Prime Minister, I'm not accusing you of any wrongdoing, you know. But if it turns out that you've been misleading me and this country, you're going to be very hard in the next round. Because the DJ don't jester. The DJ ain't playing around with these things. I realize you have time to be on social media and posting here and there. I do not know if it's you doing your posting or if it's somebody posting for you. But Mr. Prime Minister, I'm going to give you a little advice. If it's you posting, ease upon these petty things on social media. It's not helping you. And if you have somebody posting for you, tell them ease up. Because this last thing I see here, it says, why do some find pleasure in seeking to destroy the name of their country in the name of politics? Mr. PM, it's the same thing you always doing in opposition. You always calling out the wrongs. You guys was calling out the wrongs. DJ Marisha was calling out the wrongs. So those in opposition now have the right. You're not going to hear all good things. What you need to do, Mr. PM, is listen, assess, and make the necessary adjustments. I am on the streets. I am hearing the people on the street. In the not too distant future, it's not going to be just your supporters. The Labour supporters alone cannot elect the Labour Party. You're going to need the citizens of the country, St. Kitts and Nevis, to restore a Labour government. Listen to the people. Make the adjustment. Don't worry about them with them out in the traffic that tapping you on your shoulder and telling you how much they love you. Remember the mosquito syndrome, you know, Mr. Prime Minister? And I'm going to sit down here and talk to you today, you know, because I know when I come to your office, I got 5-10 minutes to talk to you. But you know how we go. This 2 hours is mine, so I could talk to you for 2 hours. And we're going to be respectful, right? This mosquito syndrome is when the mosquito was able to fly, you know, for the first time. The father sent out the mosquito for a test run. And when the mosquito came back, and the father asked the mosquito, how was the fly? The mosquito tell the father, it was good. Everybody loved him because everybody was clapping for him. The father tell the mosquito, those people you think that was clapping for you, that was your death. You managed to escape, but those clap wasn't because they love you. It was to kill you. He was to get rid of you. Mr. PM, I am telling you, there's many people in your camp. There are many people around you. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you you're doing a good job. They're going to tell you they love you because some of them have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 board. So it's good for them. But it is not good for the country. It is not good for the citizens. It is not good for you. It is not good for the party. Mr. PM, I look at a prime minister took the oath of office in Trinidad. I think it's on Monday. And the oath of allegiance was to the country, Trinidad and its people. That was the oath of allegiance. 24 hours later, that prime minister asked the president to denounce the House for fresh elections in a couple of weeks. Right? The people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I think that they're blindfolded and does not understand. Or you could take me to any task or you want to take me. Or you took an oath of allegiance to the Queen. Now he's going to be the king. You all took an oath of allegiance to the Queen. Now it's going to be the king. You all took an oath of allegiance to secrecy. Basically, before our eyes in Warner Park, you all tell us early o'clock, you are going to lie to us, you are going to mislead us. I didn't see it that way then because it was my first experience and I took the opportunity because Dwyer and them gave me that opportunity. And it was something moving for me to be a part of. But you all have to show the country you all care about the country. Not just in words, but in action. Because it is very clear that we have been lied to by the people that we elect. We have been misled. Now, we heard the conversation from your Prime Minister, Joe, about 400 million. 400 million gone on the drain from the SIDF and the CBI without any kind of explanation to the country. And in your words, gone on the drain. Mr. Prime Minister, like I said, that money got a track record. I know where it is. Other people know where it is, and I want to believe you all know where it is. So be honest with the country. The bad actors need to be pointed out, need to be labeled as bad actors. If some of them is in your government, take them out. The country have a right to know. Because for the life of me, I cannot understand, Mr. Prime Minister. And like I said, we could have this conversation in your office, but you only had 5 or 10 minutes with me, so we couldn't talk. So we're going to have to talk here. So going forward, you don't want me to talk the things them here, you make time to talk to me. But we're going to talk one way or the other. No hard feelings, and I'm not going to have no restrictions placed on my citizenry, my rights to free speech. And as a citizen, I think I have my own opinion. So nobody going to tell me how to think. Whatever you all want to put in the chat, whether you want to agree or oppose to what I'm saying, that's fine. This is where we're going to have this conversation. Because we cannot have it with the powers that be. Let's have it with the world. Some time ago, we had a commercial, we're ready to welcome the world. I was proud of that commercial. Are we still ready to welcome the world today? I don't think so. We need to get that there. So, Mr. PM, one of my big concerns that I have is this. When the Denzel administration took over in 95, after Pam was there for 15 years, Pam and NRP, there was a big shingding, a big halua about corruption, and they're going to do inquiry. The country spent millions on these inquiries, you know. People got money into their accounts. The country lost money, but nobody get locked up yet. Nobody get arrested. Nobody get charged, but millions gone down the drain. When the farmer administration took over, the Team Unity administration comprised of the People's Action Movement, PAM, led by Sean Richards. The Concerned Citizen Movement, CCM, led by Premier Brantley. And the People's Labour Party, led by the former Prime Minister Harris. They said they're going to lock up Douglas. Millions gone missing, billions gone missing. A whole bunch of noise. Douglas still standing. Nobody get charged, nobody get locked up, nobody get arrested. Now here we are. The Team Unity is out of the way. We have a new Labour administration in. Mr. Prime Minister, I don't get a chance to listen to all of your speeches and podcasts. But I hear the talk on the road, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. Some say when you got in there, you said the money is there. Money was left there by the farmer administration. You come back and you say, we in the red. We broke. You come back and you say Social Security is in a mess. Social Security have no money, but of recent times, I'm seeing Social Security donating costs to the police department, donating this, donating that. Well, from what I know, if you don't have money, you can't donate nothing. You all jump in a plane, going here, going there. Yes, you all have to travel. You all have to meet the world leaders and get things going. I don't have a problem with that. But I believe that when you are going to travel out of the country, the citizens have a right to know where you're going and what you're going to do. And when you come back, you report. That is what needs to be done. Lead by example. Don't talk about what they did before. That does turn me off when I hear about, well, the farmer administration, Timothy Harris. I have a problem with that. You're in there now for more than 2.5 years. Tell me what you all doing. Show me your record. That's where we're going to be campaigning and in a couple of months. Campaign season is around the corner. So let's talk about your record, Mr. Prime Minister. So here we are. We heard about this 20 million that is missing from the development bank. And at first, when it started out, I said, okay, finally somebody going to be held accountable. It's over 2 years. And I'm hearing now that you all want to have this trial televised. And Mr. Prime Minister, and in America, Uncle Sam will spend 20 million to get a dime from you because they print the money themselves. They don't have a problem. They destroy a lot of people's life in America. And you know the bad thing is, when they destroy the poor people's life, the millionaires, them that commit bigger crime, some of them set free, even become president. Is that what we're going to be dealing with in St. Kitts? Where the little man out there that plant a little weed to make a little survival, get charged. The little baby who hungry and the parent have to go thief a little thing to feed the baby. They get 5 years in jail. While the ministers of government thief billions and walk scot-free and end up become prime minister again. Is that what we're looking at in St. Kitts Nevis? Because my concern is, this trial for that 20 million that you said missing from Development Bank, this is my concern. And if my concern is correct, Mr. Prime Minister, scrap it. Let me repeat myself, Mr. Prime Minister. If my concern holds true for this 20 million that went missing from Development Bank, scrap it. Because my view of this thing is that between the lawyer fees, the court papers and everything, the streaming to televise this case, going to cost more than $20 million. So you're going to be spending more than 20 million to try to collect 20 million that you may not collect. So Mr. PM, scrap it and let's move on. This is the DJ advice. Couldn't tell you this in the office because you didn't give me a chance. So I'm telling you publicly. For the benefit and the interest of the Federation, come to Parliament. I hear you all going there tomorrow. Come to Parliament and let the AG tell the country what is the estimated cost for this case for Development Bank what the citizens, what the taxpayers going to pay for that case, and see whether or not it worth it. Because nobody going to jail in St. Kitts Nevis for these things. The record have shown, my partner Premier Brantley made a statement some time ago, you know. He said rich people don't commit crime, only poor people. And I believe him, you know. Mr. PM, I believe him. Because at your convenience, you all like to say that government are continuous. But if government are continuous, I have another concern. It was alleged that under the former administration, the current Commissioner of Police, I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but I was made to understand that the former white collar unit, the white collar unit, crime unit, that the current commissioner was a part of that team, you know. And he was investigating some criminal matters in the white collar crime unit. And there were some high profile people that was on his list to be charged. Warrant was being prepared for these people to be picked up and charged. And mysteriously, that individual was transferred to Nevis out of that unit. Well, Mr. Prime Minister, you're now the Minister of National Security. And government are continuous. This gentleman who was leading the investigation in the white collar unit has now risen to the rank of Commissioner of Police. So why that case have not been reopened? Why haven't these people been charged? Why we have a DPP here dancing all over town and an AG that cannot find nobody to shame and name? I'm paying attention here, Mr. Prime Minister. I told you all I'm going to relax for 2 years. I'm going to observe the situation, see how you all doing your thing. But after 2 years, the DJ will be asking some questions. The DJ will be doing some marking of papers. Well, the DJ is here now. I may start lighting the fire to our yet, you know. I am only asking questions. May I hold in the foot? May I light in the fire? I am just asking some questions at the moment. And this is a prelude to the campaign coming up, you know. Because guess what? My machine is oil and grease and ready to rumble. Anyone want to take me on or want to challenge me with the facts that they're waiting for, you know? I do not like people lying to me, and I don't lie to people. I don't like to be misled. Our citizens must be allowed to have free speech. If you know you're not doing anything wrong, just show them where you're the cleanest Prime Minister. Show them your work. Mr. PM, I'm going to be jumping all around tonight, you know, because there's so much stuff, and I cannot get it in 2 hours. But there are some topics I really want to get in. You understand? So, there's some folks was questioning me about why you, Mr. Prime Minister, gone all the way to St. Martin to meet with nationals, where Nevis is right across the road, 5 minutes. Well, I tried to explain to them, even though it's not justified, it is not justified, but I tried to explain to them that I understand this is the 76th meeting of the OECS in St. Martin. And ministers normally, when they're in foreign lands, they try to meet their citizens and have a chat with them. But Mr. Prime Minister, the people in Nevis, the people in Nevis been waiting over 2 years, you know, going for 3 years, you know, Mr. Prime Minister. I listened to you at your inauguration speech, say you will be the Prime Minister for all. I hold you to that. I speak to you about it privately, publicly on this podcast. You said, DJ, Jeff Foy, I'm going to go and have a chat to the people. Mr. Prime Minister, I think you have missed the opportunity to really go and speak to the Navy's people the way that you could have. And you lost a lot of grounds that you might have gained had you done it the way that I explained it to you. So let me give you another piece of advice, Mr. Prime Minister. And this one is free. I wouldn't even charge you a beer for this one. The country need to be mended. Since 2022, we can agree on an opposition leader in the Navy's Island administration because of the divisiveness amongst the people over there. But you, as the Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, you could unite this, Mr. Prime Minister. And I'll tell you how you can do this. It's a long time I see my boy Willett. I would love to see him. I understand there's a ground in Nevis that name of him over there. The people in Nevis, I know they cook some nice local food and stuff. Carbo could cook up some goat water and things, Sunshine and Mikey Slack and them could prepare some stuff. Let's go over into the Willett Park there on a Saturday afternoon. And I want you to invite your cabinet, the members of CCM, the members of NRP, and any independents that have interests in the next election. Let's have a little dialogue. Let's meet at the El Camino, Willett Park on a Saturday afternoon as a togetherness. Let people feel free to have the conversation. Let's have a little unity concert. You ain't gonna cost you the money you're gonna pay, or you just pay them million to the artists them to come in and sing nonsense. And people got to be there listening to our kind of nonsense. Let's have a unity amongst ourselves. Let's call this one the SKN Unity Concert. Let's get together over there in the park. I think the division would love that. You know, there's boats here that will be happy to make some money running across to Nevis. We could take the party boat across as well with a team and do a good thing over there. You got your bands and stuff, Mr. Prime Minister. But I have some great ideas to regain you some footing that you have lost in the community. Them advisors you got, they don't know what they're advising you on. And if you're listening to them, then you need to stop listening to them. And if you're not listening to them, I would like to know what they're telling you. Because, Mr. PM, I'm not going to say that Big Lies things not going well. Because I see many things that has done well. But some people want to know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, we have to be honest with ourselves. If we're not going to be honest with ourselves, the country is going to suffer. There's no hope for us if we cannot be honest with ourselves. We have to hold our political candidates, those that has came, those that are there, and those to come. We really have to be serious, very serious about unifying this country. People cussing the US, you know. People cussing the US. And I'm laughing because I was here on 2 occasions during the lockdown. And when those boats stopped coming in, supermarket shelf empty, people struggle. If those boats stop bringing in produce right now, we're in a mess. If there was restrictions or sanctions placed on us, does people really understand what those restrictions and sanctions mean? These airlines you all have dropping down on RLB on a daily basis from the US, Canada, and them places. Gonna be less, if any at all. Those cruise ships at Port Zante or over Carambola will be less, if any at all. The taximen going to go back in spiral mode where they're losing their equipment. Small business already having a rough time. They will continue to have a rougher time. Citizens already struggling. They'll continue to struggle. My good people. So Let's have that serious, open conversation. And at this stage of the game, for me, it's not about Labour, PAM, CCM, PLP, or NRP, or any independent, It's about the country. I want us to look at GCC, God, country, citizens. Let's practice that. God, country, citizens. This selfish behavior that we have managed to come up with is not good for us. It is not good for the country, my good people. It's not good for the country. Last week, not last week really, but over the weekend, I heard some chatters on social media. And what the chatter was about, I understand that apparently the deputy prime minister went across to Nevis to deal with some education, school, whatever over there. Take some pictures and whatever. And the premier was over in St. Kitts doing this. Now, I got to give Jeffrey a big up for that. Because he's the Minister of Education at the federal level. So, if Jeffrey took the initiative to go across to Nevis to participate in whatever educational activities over there, the entire country should be happy for that and clap him for that. I've been on Jeffrey's case for months to start doing his work, to start function as a federal minister and not just out there doing barbecue and doing the egg and marble and spoon and them kind of thing. Just partying. So, Brother Jeffrey, if you went across to Nevis and participate in the education thing over there, big up to you. Respect. There's still hope for you. There's still hope for you, Jeffrey. We can have the conversation. There's still hope for you. Now, Monday, because of that conversation I was hearing, Monday I took a chance and went down to the Sandy Point High School where I attended, tried to get a chat with the principal and to see how things are there. And my reason for that really is because someone been sending these videos circulating with these kids fighting and stuff in the various schools, which I don't think enough is being done to combat this kind of behavior. And a lot of these kids, I think if you give them options, you wouldn't have those fighting things carrying on. But when you're going to have people standing around videotaping these things instead of intervene and try to do things the right way, it does not help us. So when the AG went into Parliament and chastising people about using their devices to chat wherever they're chatting, I want to know if the AG does see these videos going around with these kids fighting. Because he should be even more upset with these people doing this, It should be a law against these people videotaping kids fighting instead of intervene in the matter. They should be charged. They're part of the fight. They're encouraging it. Again, that is just DJ opinion. Some of you might feel like, well, it's their phone, they could record what they want. I don't have a problem with your opinion. But we need to play a more vital role in the kids into the school. So I went there and I did not get to see this principal in person, but I was able to speak to him on the phone. And I promised I would return whenever he makes some time. So whenever the principal will get back to me, I'm going to try and set up a meeting with the principal when school is on. I don't want to go there when the kids are out at recess. I want to go back to the school when the classes are in session. And I want to take some people with me. I want to take some people with me who can try and boost the morale of these kids. You see, like Mr. Powell there in Newton Ground, Island Purified Water. I would like to take him and his wife with me on that trip. I would like to take people like Singing Jackie and her husband, brother leader on that trip. I would like to take people like EK, GQ, Ronnie Rascal, people like the Big JL, Mr. Wall, Mention, these band leaders, any one of them, Sakroti. I would like us to go there and have a conversation with these people. My boy there, Ellis Hazel. I would like to take these guys, Larry on the basement there from Small Axe, the people that from the community that went to these areas. I believe that these kids, if you explain to them that they are future prime ministers, they are future ministers, they are future doctors, lawyers, we could get something to head to change. Because guess what? This gentleman you are looking at on the screen, you know, this DJ was not easy growing up, you know. This DJ did not know a thing about DJ. This DJ grew up under the leadership of a young man called Joseph Bunny. They call him Jobene, who is me. That man had no style. I am the refined version of Jobene. Don't we talk about Clemmy? Clemmy wasn't easy. So when any one of you out there want to badmouth the DJ and try to say anything negative, try and find out who was Jobene, who was Clemmy Bene, who was Tinny Morris, who was Thomas Warner, who was Pete Warner, who was Albert Thomas, John Willie Marcus, Mossa. You know, ask about those older people. Ask Akan and them. They are the people that I used to sit in the conversation. My grandfather had me between his legs. I listened to them and I learned. This is why people always say, Marisha, were you always around old people and you like old people? So they're the one that give me the education today. Hadn't I spent time with these elder people, I could have been one or two things. I could have been a history under the ground someplace, in jail, lock up someplace or whatever, because I have the ability like anybody else. I got feeling like anybody else. People do me harm. I could react just the same. Anything anybody do in this world, I think I can do it. But I learned over the years to let go things, to ignore things, and only address issues that need to be addressed. That's why even on this podcast, when I am attacked by some fakers online, I just overlook it. Because the message here is about doing positive things for the country and for the people. Not no personalities. Some of them out there try to discredit me, call me all kind of things. But guess what? God keeps showing them that this DJ will survive and will stand because I am doing what I need to do for the people of this beloved federation. My cousin Catherine always said to me, Jeffrey, you're here for a purpose. Because time and time again, she has seen the work I have done, not only in this community, but around the globe. My good people, like I said, there's a couple of things that I have to talk about, so I'm going to be jumping around. There's an issue I understand at the sustainable department. I do not know what the issue is, but I know when you go to these offices to set up appointments, they want to know what it's all about, and you got to go through all kind of red tape to talk to them. So since they're not going to time up there when you go call them and set up a meeting, let me tell them now, because the beauty about it is whatever I say here on a Wednesday night, I know you all just carry it back. I decide to cut the clip and send them, or you all call them and tell them, Marisha, I cost the government. So let me present it. There are many people in the Federation that have acquired land. Some of them are already paid off in full. But the land grass them around the place, you would think is one cane field. There's no roads. The roads them are back up with 10-foot, 12-foot grass. I am asking Sustainable to maintain the roads to these lots, that people get access to their land. People want to do things on their land. People want to build. So I am asking the people at Sustainable to please, especially here in St. Some of them is already paid for in full. Pretty soon they have to pay taxes on them and they don't have no access to them. Sustainable. So please, sustainable. I am pleading now. So maybe by the time I come there next week, are you ready for me? Because somebody gonna tell her you're cussing, are you? Well, I'm not cussing. I am asking, please. Sustainable. Couple days ago, I'm pretty sure you all see me brother there, Big Lice, over in the Canary area with a little video about that water in the drain and whatever there. You know, it is really, to me, embarrassing and disturbing that Canary is right there next to the airport. Canary is very close to the Public Works Department. Canary is very close to the crusher and to the office of the minister, Congress Maynard. And for days, they got that problem there. So if they got that problem there right under the nose and they can't fix it, what's going to happen in St. Paul's when we got a problem over here? We got to tell our ministers them, stay off social media, spend some time on the ground, look at what is happening. You're going to tell me that whether it's the prime minister or the deputy, the ministers of government must travel that road at some point during the week. Them who coming from St. Paul's, them who coming from Bass, they must pass that road. You're going to tell me that they don't have to fix that? But you all out there doing all kind of partying and celebration and drinking up. Do you all work that you were elected to do? Again, if when I pick up the phone and call you all will answer your phone. When I ask for an appointment, I get it. I would not be here saying these things. You will be hearing from me privately. But until such time that change, I got 2 hours to let you all know what the people are saying and my observation. So that is sustainable. In the schools, it appears that there's no school monitors on the ground in these schools. I think there's enough students that have left school who have not been to college, who don't have the funds to go to college as yet, who just sitting at home are idle. So I am recommending to the Minister of Education to try harness some of these students from the various schools and have some school monitors. Not only on the school, but outside of the school to eliminate some of these fights. Because they've been to these schools, they know what is going on, they understand the in-thing. So that's something that I really would like you all to do. Now, this East Coast matter, this housing development matter, where they said it was a revolutionary approach. Some 2,400 houses, smart homes, supposed to be built in the first term of this administration. They said 600 per year. Well, like I said, the only homes I know built so far, somebody can correct me, is the 2 sample homes. They gave out one over there in the Canary area. I don't know where the other one is. But at this point in time, no 600 built last year. I don't see them building 600 this year. And election is around the corner. So my good people, I would very much hope that the Prime Minister is paying attention to this particular one, because I'm hearing some things about corruption in that too, They are kind of tie up and mix up in this, Revolutionary corruption is in this. Not revolutionary homes, but revolutionary corruption. There are people that are making decisions in this matter that they and their family are benefiting while the country is losing. I understand the Deputy Prime Minister made some statement that the country ain't losing anything. And the AG office is addressing it. Well, I think it's the worst office to address this thing, is the AG office. I think they need to put an independent committee together to investigate this matter here. This East Coast matter need an independent agency and maybe even someone from the outside, because they got some serious internal situation in this, based on the information I am having. Now, to the water issue. When the Prime Minister campaigned and he took office, the Prime Minister campaigned about not having water in his constituency number 8. one of the resolution they had was getting these tanks to give to their community to assist. Well, we had the well that was open in Keon, and I understand things are better over there. But St. Paul still having problem. From 5 in the morning, the water come on, 7 o'clock in the evening, it gone. You're trying to get a little girlfriend to come hang out with you, no water to wash up. Mr. Prime Minister, we need water over here as well. I see some of the upper ups got the tanks and got their motor hook up. This DJ put everything on the line to ensure Timothy was gone. This DJ support you, Mr. Prime Minister, and by extension, the Labour Party to come into office. This DJ don't want nothing that is not he's not entitled to. This DJ don't want nothing that the other citizens can't have. I am speaking that all of us must benefit as citizens. That is why we elect a government. The country is supposed to be God, country citizens. Not the politician and continue to just take care of themselves and their friends and everybody else see for themselves. This kind of thing cannot happen, Mr. Prime Minister. The country is crying out, and the DJ is listening to them crying out. I saw something going around. I do not know what it is. Again, you guys can correct me. I understand there's some big protests over there in Dominica, my second home. I got to talk to them about Lincoln, see if that is true. There's some kind of protest by the parliament. I hear some shot and thing firing. I don't know if it's a movie or if it's fake, like they say the fake list. But I heard some shots firing. I do not know whether they are tear gas, they're blank shots, rubber shots or whatever, but I hear some shots flying in the video. So I pray for my people of Dominica that all will go well there. I also get some disturbing news there out of Antigua over the weekend that a 9-year-old was abducted, went missing, and was found dead. I have an issue with that because what people get out of destroying the life of these young kids? What do they get out of hurting these young kids? I do not know what will become of me if anybody mess with my baby girl. My little 7-year-old baby girl, if anybody mess with my baby girl, I do not know what will become of me. So I pray to God that nobody is crazy enough to mess with my baby girl. Not just my baby girl alone, but anybody that is close to me, they will have a problem. Celine, I'm reading your message, Celine, and I'm going to respond to you. Dougie, support and look out for his people. That is the impression that people get. Right? I could say to Dougie privately and publicly, Dougie could have done a lot more for his constituency. Let me repeat myself. Dougie could have done a lot more for his constituency, and I think that it's time that my boy Dougie retire. Let's sit down on the bridge, have a little drink and talk about all-time days and get another person in there that is serious about helping the people in this community. No disrespect to my partner Dougie. Dougie, now when me and he talk, we talk straight up. Dougie, know I love him, right? But I think he have made his contribution. Whatever it is, it's time that Dougie take a break and give somebody a chance. He have put in his time. Now, my good people, it's just about 7:15. And I cannot let the evening finish without giving some update on my brother Cans Edwards. For those of you who tired of hearing about my boy Cans, I will apologize in advance. Even if you have family members who might be tired of hearing about him, because I know the pain is there. I apologize, but I have to remind you people that today, the 19th of March, marks 231 days since Brother Edwards went missing on the 1st of August 2024. 231 days. 223 days since he was found dead in the Saddler's Mountain. Again, 223 days since he was found dead in a Godside in the Saddler's Mountain. 211 days since his funeral. More than 27 weeks since the Ministry of Health received letters, at least 3 letters, seeking some information and assistance from the family. To date, no response. All I heard is they're working on some regulations. They could do better than this. Our Ministry of Health, our aging and disability, we could do better than this. I see the Prime Minister and other ministers for less jump on social media and make national address. This matter of consent is a serious matter and need to be addressed. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. PS, Miss, what her name is there? Anyway, we need to hear from you all. I need to know, and the family need to know, what is taking the police so long to finalize the report to the family. This gentleman consent was, according to the information I received from his family, he was living over in Middle Island at his home, you know. A doctor used to visit him once a month or twice a month, whatever the case may be. And that doctor advised the family that Mr. Edwards has dementia and need to be placed in round-the-clock care. But Mr. Edwards was in this home for more than 4 years, I understand. And what was round-the-clock care? Mr. Edwards was allowed to walk down the road by Sadler's, walk wherever he want, drink his beer and do as he please. The same dementia patient, the same home, the same doctor. They get their payment $2,500 and up a month. But when the family expect Mr. Edwards to be in a warm bed, getting his treatment and his care and his medication, he was allowed to roam for 9 days. Lightning, thunder, rain, storm, for 9 days, 9 nights. We find him dead in the Saddler's Mountain. The people of that home, there was the people that responsible for collecting the money monthly, $2,500 and up. But they don't want to be held accountable for this tragedy. My good people, we need to wake up. Mr. Prime Minister, I've spoken to you privately about this. I expect to hear from you. I expect to get some things in place for these homes. Mr. Prime Minister, there's too many things out there that we are allowing to just slide and think it's going to fix itself. These things cannot fix themselves. We have to fix them. These things, we have to fix them. They're not going to fix themselves, Mr. Prime Minister. And, you know, it is very hurtful for me to know that I put a lot out there, put my life on the line, I put everything I have on the line to ensure that there was a Labour government elected, you know, because I had confidence. I remember when Sister Precious asked me on nomination day, can I do a video for the then Dr. Joe to try and get him some pep. And I did a video to tell the people, this is the man that can give us what we're looking for. This is the change that we need. But instead of that, the folks that was not out there on the ground, fighting the fight. They're the one benefiting while the people that fight the fight and the country itself is in a mess. I have heard time and time again, and I try my best not to let emotions get the better of me. Because, as the saying goes, don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. So, Mr. Prime Minister, this is why today you still have my support. Because if I were to follow my emotions with some of the things that have taken place, you would have lost my support by now. I am very patient, but my patience is running weary. I am not walking around with my eyes wide open, shut like some people. I am seeing for myself. I can see for myself where the interest lays for some people. And it's not about the country. It's not about the people. I've said this before. The Labour administration campaigned and a manifesto with 7 pillars. I know them by heart. But out of those pillars, there seems to be just a grass bed. There's no pillars available, Mr. Prime Minister. And we can do better than this. We can do better than this. I am of the view, based on my assessment, that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis have given the Labour Party a mandate to work towards their 7 pillars for the betterment of this country. But as I look at the appointment to these boards and the people in certain positions, the operation is a Labour Party mandate for the Labour Party members, but not for the country. That is what my observations tell me. Again, Mr. Prime Minister, these are conversations we could have in private. But since you don't have the time to talk to me in private, we're going to have to talk on my parliament. This is my parliament. We're going to have this conversation because it must be had. It have to be country first. Our motto is country above self, not self above country. I have seen too many of those people out there that cuss me, call me terrorist, call me all kind of things, they're mashing up the country. Them today is who? Benefiting, leading the charge. Some of them who was out there telling you you're not doing a good job. Them out in the draft now, so you're doing a good job for them. But what about the rest of the country? Every time there's money to spend, the criteria is a social security. I have said this before. I went to the Social Security office to find out what are the criteria to get a Social Security. They said you got to be 16 years of age and you must be employed or self-employed. I just spoke about kids that are just leaving school. More than a third of the country have not been able to acquire a social. Some of them may never have a job or contribute, but they're people too. They're part of the country. You might find some of the people advising you, oh, only people who contribute should benefit. We're just being a part of this country, born in this country. That was your contribution, because we are who are benefiting today. People like the DJ who are benefiting today. What about them people who die building this country, building up the slaves that before us, where the people ain't supposed to get nothing out of the deal? We go up Brimstone Hill, and now you want to charge all kind of money to go up Brimstone Hill. A lot of people die building that, The hot water bath in Nevis, I understand now they're charging US, $5 for the tourists. Locals is free for now. People die building them thing there. It got right over there. Right as you leave Ramstug on the bypass road, under the Labour administration, I remember a Guyanese got killed over there building that ramp, that overpass. When the overpass caved in, I remember a Guyanese got killed there. There are people that die in this country, shed blood in this country. But all you want to just continue to give who already have. But Samuel, you are my partner too, you know. People are complaining to me about the agriculture situation. People say they lose chickens and stuff because they can't get no feeding to purchase to feed their chickens and stuff to provide egg. I don't know how you're going to deal with that, but that is one of the things I would like you to address, Brother Samuel. And there are people reaching out to me, and I cannot get upset with them because they said they've been waiting more than a year to speak to their ministers, and they cannot get a meeting. So if I am experiencing the same thing, I got to believe what the people telling me. My good people, it's just about 26 minutes after 7 o'clock. I think I've been chatting for a while. But my people, there's a lot more to speak about. A whole lot more to speak about. Some things are so sensitive that I don't even want to touch them. But there's a lot on the horizon that are going to be affecting our beloved Federation in the not too distant future. And for those of you who believe that because Mr. Martinez withdraw his civil suit for these individuals that is attached to the CBI, that the case gone away. I hear a lot of you chatting your nonsense. You know, gone no place. The hurricane that is ahead, you all stop calling for it. I don't think St. Kitts Nevis is ready for a hurricane right now. And the Philip Martinez hurricane that is scheduled to hit St. Kitts, I would hope that common sense prevail and the powers that be have that conversation before that hurricane reach. The U.S. Justice Department is working on some stuff. For those of you who live in the U.S. don't like people messing with their citizens. The U.S. don't like people messing with their investors. These people invest millions of dollars in our beloved Federation. They want their money back. They don't just come and spend how much $1 million to buy a hotel and let it sit down there and rotten. They're not going to accept it. The U.S. will not accept it. We have to open up our minds. Liberate your mind, my good people. Stop following people telling you nonsense that the case is over. That case is far from being over, my good people. The list that they say leaked, that they say is not real, in reality, is realer than you would ever think. Only that much I can say for now. But I'm going to drop this track for you good people out there.
Can we be liberated when we are so confused? This country is so divided. There are so many different views. Every finger's pointing away from its owner. We shouting blame and crying shame, but all are guilty just the same. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country could live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Some campaigning, some dictating, everybody want to control. There's no process for creating an awareness of greater social and economic goals. This system has got to go, or we will suffer more. The power only working for a society privileged you. So true, liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah. Despite the differences our eyes have seen, we need political unity. Be ready to unite and to work, not fight. Stand up for justice and for right. Break down the barriers in this land. Stand between the working man who died so long, worked so hard, get so little out of life. Got here right, liberate your mind, my brother. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah.
Yes, sound of the man Latumba. I am really trying to understand if our population of St. Kitts Nevis, they say some 50 or 52,000 citizens, and we are hearing some 22,000 passports were sold. Naturally, I don't think we have 22,000 visitors living on the island of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we are those citizens that hold our passport. Who are they? If they decide to come and take over St. Kitts, what can we do? A lot of questions to ask, my good people. But as the time is running away from me, just about 25 minutes before the 8 o'clock hour, and I'm signing off at 8 o'clock this evening. Now, I have a little concern, not a little concern really, it's a big concern, because this was one of our main campaign issue, was the electoral office matter. And I've been communicating with the AG about the status of that electoral office situation until he seems to have gone missing. right? And the situation is this. The AG told me some time ago, I think it might have been in 23, that they have put some committee in place and the matter will be resolved by the end of summer. Well, summer ending 24, and there's a summer coming in 25. I remember I spoke about this on Freedom FM, and my good cousin there, Dr. Martin, joke about it, that in St. Kitts is summer all year round. But it's not a joke to me, you know. This electoral office matter is not a joke, and we really need to step it up, Mr. Prime Minister. And the people of this country really need to step it up and demand that this electoral office matter be addressed. Because I'm understanding that there are people out there not only registered and voting in the areas that they don't live or never lived, but there are also people that has died some years ago and the names are still on these lists. And I would say to the AG that in spite of the fact that the candidate in Nevis for the NRP may have faltered in filing the case for the electoral matter in 22, and it was stopped in the tracks, it did not go forward. If this government and this AG was really interested in justice and the rule of law in our beloved federation, some independent investigation would have taken place. A committee would have been put in place to investigate that case to see really if there was grounds that Ms. Patricia Bartlett claimed. But without even asking if there was grounds, the Premier himself came and social media came on his press conference and said that there was hiccups. There were some things that went down. There was more ballot in the box than I guess names and this kind of stuff. So that case, we may not get a change of government for that, but I think in the interest of the people of Nevis, the AG should have really followed through on that matter. And I do not know what it is hugging up and hanky-panky that is really going on out there, that things are not being addressed. But there's a good saying out there, my grandparents used to say, when your neighbor house burning, wet it, you know. When your neighbor house is on fire, wet yours. I am very disappointed, to say the least, that thus far, the matter of the electoral office has not been addressed. I mean, I was self-appointed down at that electoral office on Central Street. I could remember on this same podcast, it was myself, Sam, and Dwyer. And we were speaking about all of the legal matters that was taking place at that electoral office. And I remember Sam said, DJ, we're going to have to really pay some close attention to that office over the next couple of days leading up to the election. I appoint myself down there. I went down there and see them in there with some Spanish people when they should not be in there. And when I reached out to Dwyer, and Dwyer tried to get a handle of it, he was giving all kind of bullshit excuse about there was observers came in that was in there. There was no observers. There was Spanish people in there. They was doing their business. And this is where I'm waiting to talk to my boy, Timo, you know. I'm waiting for Timo to join me here because my partner is out there campaigning heavily, say he wants to go back to be Prime Minister. But Timothy, before you go to the ballot, you know, you need to come and sit down and have the conversation with Marisha, you know. Because if you don't have that conversation with the DJ, the campaign I had on you in 2021, 22, it's not going to change. So my advice to you, if you want us to clear the year and be the friends that we should be, let's sit down and talk to the people who have some questions for you, brother Timo. You know, you have a lot of guff in Parliament and on your press conferences and things. But this is the place you need to come. Let's deal with the matter here. Because going forward, anyone that you're running for office in the upcoming election, you know, if I don't come here, come talk to the people, the DJ gonna be waging a very strong offensive to you all. So I am speaking now that, Mr. Prime Minister, the ball is really in your court, you know. And as long as I have oil and purified water next to me here on a Wednesday night, you all know that I'm good to go. I could go another 4 hours, but no, it's going to be 2. But I want to thank the good people there at Oil and Purified Water for keeping the DJ hydrated, because the place is really hot here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. And we really need to do the right thing for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. My good friend dear Sister Rebel, I saw her last week sometime. She was under the weather. And Rebel did a song some time ago in tribute to the former premier, our first national hero. And let me see if I can find that track here. Sister Rebel, I hope you're doing a lot better. And you're getting there, because I know that you're our queen of hearts. So let me drop this track and see if I have the correct track here for Sister Rebel. My tribute to Sister Rebel.
Dignified and courageous, sincerely one of us. Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, a name we could shout aloud. His goals and achievement has really made us proud. Disunity and destructiveness are luxuries we cannot afford. Not today or no time in the future, no. Oh no. It is incumbent upon us in whatever we do to be the best we can be, freeing ourselves from economic slavery. Our nation's progenitor, his name we should honor. Keep the torch alight, his desires burning bright. His spirit is our guiding light. Brotherhood and unity will forever be. He did not even stumble, he must preserve his legacy. Our nation
nation's progenitor. His name we should honor. Keep the torch alight. His desires burning bright. His spirit is our guiding light. Douglas, I challenge you. To your conscience you must be true. The nation demand leadership and watching what you do. You know where the conflict. Treat it with much respect. Be a shining example with moral principle. If you take a stand for something, you won't fall for anything. You're carrying the thought of a great leader into a new century. Against corruption you'll have to fight, and any wrong you must make it right. Wherever darkness appears, you'll be the one to shine the light.
Yeah, sounds of Sister singing Rebel there, Sister Esme. Well, let's drop another quick one here by the one Mighty Pat, a new track for the VI Carnival there. This one is the cockroach in government. I hope we don't have any cockroach in the government in St. Kitts Nevis.
Baba daba di baba di rai. Ay, radande. Oh, ay. One more time. Sing this song. Baba di da. We'll calypso. Carnival is calypso, soca and pan. Carnival is quelbe, chutney and paran. Carnival used to make people so happy. Fun, frolic and spree, eat, drink, be merry. Look forward to hear the calypso show. Tell you good and bad things that you never know. But the government so bad here, it is a shame. They don't want to hear calypso again. One bunch of government cockroach. Alva does act like an anti-man. One bunch of government cockroach. Like Ton and Bullies, he damn husband. One bunch of government cockroach. The judging committee full of lesbian. One bunch of government cockroach. You think that a lie, you could act Sheldon. One bunch of government cockroach. The man hold back up full of confusion. One bunch of government cockroach. They don't like calypso in this country. One bunch of government cockroach. Some of them could be right here now judging me. One bunch of government cockroach. They bank book fat how they thief carnival money. Aye, dabba dabba dee. Ooh, One more time, sing me on. This is something you must understand. Calypsonians are messengers of this land. Tell you about things, whether good or bad. Straight from Africa, thanks to Trinidad. For preserving the art form, give it a home. Calypso around the world now holding its own. Calypso don't now have to live in fear. Getting sued for things the people must hear. One bunch of government cockroach. Alva does act like an anti-man. One bunch of government cockroach. Like Ton and Bullies, he damn husband. One bunch of government cockroach. The judging committee full of lesbian. One bunch of government cockroach. You think that a lie, you could act Sheldon. One bunch of government cockroach. The man hold back up full of confusion. One bunch of government cockroach. They don't like calypso in this country. One bunch of government could be right here now judging me. One bunch of government cocker, the bank book fat how the thief carnival money. I did talk to Shalamite, you know, but you won't listen to me. So I get up now in jail. You all go ahead. I went straight to jail too. One more time, sing this song. Ay, 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 ay. Why is Caliph so sweet? Hey! Barrow Kitchener, Melody and them used to have real fun. Telling you, my friend, they will start by singing on each other, calling it extemporing in Calypso. The audience will show appreciation. Calypso numbers real bacchanal and fun. But when government oppressing people, they will get their cockroach to attack you. One bunch of government cockroach. Alvadas act like an anti-man. One bunch of government cockroach. Like Ton and Bullies, he damn husband. One bunch of government cockroach. The judging committee full of lesbian. One bunch of government cockroach. You think that a lie, you could act Sheldon. One bunch of government cockroach. The man hold back up full of confusion. One bunch of government cockroach. They don't like Calypso in this country. One bunch of government cockroach. Some of them could be right here now judging me. One bunch of government cockroach. The bank book fat how the thief carnival money. One bunch of government cockroach. Alvadas act like an anti-man. One bunch of government cockroach. Like Ton and Bullies, he damn husband. One bunch of government cockroach. The judging committee full of lesbian. One bunch of government cockroach. You think that a lie, you could act Sheldon. One bunch of government cockroach. The man hold back up full of confusion. One bunch of government cockroach. They don't like Calypso in this country. One bunch of government cockroach. Some of them could be right here now judging me. One bunch of government cockroach. The bank book fat how the thief carnival money. Aye.
Yes, that's the new release by the man King Pat there for the Virgin Islands Carnival. The politician, them boy, cockroaches, the wallet full, the bank book full. Well, you know, it's that time of the evening where we come to the end of this podcast as I get ready to drop the unofficial anthem of the beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. This one is by the late, great King Arrow. And you know, my girl, dear sister Hazel, love to bounce to this one. But Hazel, I'm asking you to just listen to the lyrics in this one. And I ask that all Kittitian just follow. Just follow the lyrics. Country above self. Your country needs you now more than ever. So, until such time.
unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives, analyze. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, my good people, and that's the end of the program for this evening. Thanks again for you online viewers that came out and continue to come out and be a part of the conversation. The listenership is really appreciated. Without you, the people, there's no podcast. So thanks again.